Man, I saw this earlier, and this is one of the most funniest things I've seen. And I thought this was just really, really funny coming from our 48th president chat room. 48th president, okay? Mr. JD Vance, Vice President JD Vance, all right? From geeksandgamers.com, Vice President JD Vance calls out Hasan Piker for alleged dog abuse. And the video was freaking hilarious, right? So if you guys don't know, he got shocked. His dog Kaya got shocked, and Vice President Vance appeared on Pod Force 1 to discuss a range of issues, and conversation drifted to the Vance family dog, Atlas, a German Shepherd. When Vance talked about how Atlas responds to commands, such as Vance snapping his fingers and pointing, host Miranda Devine jokingly asked if Vance had to zap him like Hasan Piker, a reference to the alleged incident, which is, oh my God, man, we got to watch this again.
He has this command place, which is basically if I snap my finger and point, he will run to that place and lay down.
You don't have to zap him.
No. Not like Hasan Piker. No electrocution of dogs here.
How disgusting is that? What does that tell you about a person?
Well, I think it tells you that they're not, that they're bad people.
Yes.
If you can actually cause suffering to an innocent animal, you're probably the kind of person who doesn't worry about suffering in people as well.
Yeah. That's true. Saw optics.
If you mistreat dogs, that's almost 100% sign that you're going to be a really terrible person. So it's one of the ways we really sort of test people is if Atlas responds well to them, if they like Atlas, we know they're good people. But you can tell if somebody's really mean to animals. It's like the Jeffrey Dahmer thing.
Yeah.
Like every serial killer ever has
compared him
really
to
bad animals. That's sort of how they started.
Could we compare Hasan Piker to Jeffrey Dahmer? This is so good. Holy shit, man. And the fact that you get presidential nominee, 48th president, JD Vance, saying this is absolutely crazy, right? And yeah, it's true. And remember, he didn't even check on the dog when a dog yelped. If Hasan that day heard Kaya yelp, checked up on the dog, and when people asked, is that a shock collar, pulled it off and either said, yes, it's a shock collar, or no, it's not a shock collar. It doesn't matter what he says. He should have addressed it right then and there. This would have all been done by now. Nobody would be talking about it. No one would bring up Dogtober 7th. Nobody will even care about it. But the fact that you lied, you waited a whole entire day to talk about it, to come up with your story, I'm pretty sure is a very, very well-rehearsed, fabricated story, right? You showing the collar and then showing that there's a black tape on it. And when people adjust the levels, you can see it, and there's the prongs and shit like that. The fact that people, to be honest, people might care whether or not you shocked your dog, right? But what people are actually upset at is that the fact that you lied, and you kept lying, you didn't address it right away, right? A regular human being, a regular person hearing their dog yelp, we immediately go and check up on their dog. Any sane person would have got up and checked on their dog. Hey, are you okay? Right? Are you hurt? If it was a dew claw or whatever, it doesn't really matter what it is, right? A sane person would have checked up on the dog immediately. But the fact that he has said, turned around and says, you're being such a baby, and continues just to stream, goes to show he does not really care. All he cares is about optics, right? The fact that people see him as a good person, even though he is a terrible human being. And the fact that JD Vance compares him to Jeffrey Dahmer is actually very, very telling, right? Imagine what Hasan Piker does off camera. So that's the thing. So yeah, this is not a good look. And he's been getting roasted for a long time now, right? So let's see, Vance laughs, saying there's no electrocution of the dogs, which actually is pretty crazy, right? he says Vance called the type of abuse of Hasan Piker is alleged to have committed almost 100% sign that you're gonna be a really terrible person, and he is. And of course, right up here, at JD Vance's dog Atlas enjoyed his first day on the campaign trail. Vance then invoked the Jeffrey Dahmer thing, noting that abusing animals is the first warning that the predator will eventually hurt human beings, which is a characteristic the FBI uses to profile potential violent criminals, right? You basically cut up cats and shit like that first. You abuse dogs, you cut up dogs and such. Look, there's even a close-up shot of his former dog that has the pinch collar that right over here was bleeding. All right? And then when the actual, like, the freaking dog coach or the freaking trainer comes, he said that your dog's collar is way too tight, right? Has to be 2 fingers, right? So yeah, this does not bode well for him. And this guy absolutely does not care about freaking communist China. Freaking he does not really care about like Palestine. He doesn't really care about like Gaza and shit like that. It's all optics. All right? If he really, really did care, why don't you actually move over there? Why don't you go over there and do something about it, right? Instead of just hiding over here, going to protest and wearing a freaking bulletproof, non-bulletproof workout training weight armor that says press. You're not even press, bro. What an idiot. Since the allegations of animal abuse against him has been widely criticized, although some people and outlets have defended him, including Out magazine, which is a very, very gay for faggots, right? Which called the backlash against Pikers a misinformation campaign, and Newsweek, which labeled much of the critical rhetoric directed against Piker hate speech against Muslims. There is a war happening. There's a genocide happening. Who cares about the dog, right? Yeah, sure. Some comments on Podforce's one's X post sharing the Hasan Piker clip from JD Vance's interview were critical of Vance's reaction, posting screenshots of articles about Kristi Noem admitting to using a gun on a dog, implying hypocrisy in his response to Piker's allegations. And yeah, you know, I believe there's like a book or some shit like that, right? Trump VP contender Kristi Noem writes of killing dog and goat in a new book. So of course people are using that to defend him. JD cooked that communist, but vastly majority appear to agree with Vance's take. I think a lot of sane people will and normal people will agree with JD Vance's take. A lot of Hassan shills, Hassan dick riders and stuff like that will probably, no matter what Hassan does, it doesn't matter if he's killed a human being, is the fact that he agrees with he's basically the representative of their ideology. So that's the reason why these people will not care what Hasan has done. Like Hasan will actually go out and do like let's say if Hasan does go out and does like some crazy heinous shit live on TV and stuff like that. Like he fucking grabs a kitten and like fucking, you know, rips the fur off and like guts the throat and shit like that. He would be like, oh, what the fuck? I don't agree with what he's doing. But the fact that he agrees with everything else, he hates Donald Trump. He hates the Republican Party. He's pro-Palestine and stuff like that. He's pro-socialism. As long as he agrees with all of that and he does not waver and does not change, he can get away with murder and I'll still support him. These are the people who are absolutely crazy and has lost the plot. These are the absolute hive mind people that don't have anything to do because they're too stupid to make up their own mind. So yeah. And here's another one, of course, JD Vance to Hasan. We don't do that here. And of course, you have My Nerdy Home. Steph, shout out My Nerdy Home. Tell Hasan it was me. Oh, that's great. That's great. Considering his politics and eagerness to discuss them in his videos, Piker will likely respond to Vice President at some point. And which he already did. Right? He already did. Immediately after this video came out, maybe like around like 30 minutes later, he goes live and he basically brought up the whole Kristi Noem thing and how like she made a book about, you know, like shooting her, the dog and shit like that, right? But the thing is, I think this is funny, and I can't believe that the 48th president of the United States, our current Vice President JD Vance calls out Hasan Piker, and this guy don't play. Remember, he played Magic the Gathering. He played Magic the Gathering. So this guy knows his stuff. Look, me being Asian, you can say whatever you want about me eating dogs, cooking dogs, going to wet markets and stuff like that. But I have at least 3 dogs in my household. All of them are safe, of course. I have never used a pinch collar. I did use a choke chain for a little bit, but I don't use that anymore. I use it when I first had a dog because I didn't know how to take care of a dog until I sort of brought them to like doggy daycare. I had several trainers that I know and stuff like that. So I know how to train dogs. And ever since then, I had like 4 or 5 other dogs. And you don't need a shock collar. You don't even need a choke chain or a pinch collar to be able to train your dog, okay? The thing is that a lot of people, like Hasan, does not know how to train their dogs, and that's the reason why he needs a trainer. And the thing is, this is his 2nd or 3rd dog. I'm not sure what it is, but like you can tell this guy, the fact that he has his dog over there, sitting there for 6 to 8 hours. Now, here's the thing. Do dogs sit there for 6 to 8 hours? Yeah, they do. But they intermittently need to go pee, and need to go drink water, or need to eat, all right? So the fact that the dog sits there to 6 to 8 hours, in my opinion, could be borderline animal abuse. Is because if the dog does not go, like here's the thing, I don't watch any of Hasan's stuff. Maybe he brings the dog out to go pee like every 2 to 3 hours. I let my dog out every 3 to 4 hours to go pee and poop, all right? And I have readily accessible water for my dogs to drink, and I give them food every morning, if not every morning, every afternoon I give them food, right? But that dog sits there for like 6 to 8 hours. I don't see the dog drinking water, and that's a fat dog, right? That's a big, fluffy dog, and he lives in California. And that means that that dog at least drinks some water. But if I don't see any water bowls nearby, and if he keeps saying, Kaya, place, Kaya, place, Kaya, place, and stuff like that, the dog can't even go stretch and drink water and stuff like that. In my opinion, that is sort of borderline animal abuse. All right. I have 2 tortoises. I have a cat. I have 3 dogs. I have a mini zoo in my house. Okay. I have a pit bull mix. I have a husky. I have a French bulldog. I have a Bombay cat, and I have 2 sulcata tortoises, and they're fucking big. All right. One of them is 60 pounds. The other one is 45 pounds. All right. I have a fucking farm at my house. Come on. 100 ways to walk your cat. How to eat them. You got to make sure they're fat and healthy before you cook them. Make sure you don't eat cat is sour. Not good.